Welcome back to Cheddar News, everyone. Even as the pandemic continues, there has been a spike in demand for vacations, certainly this summer. More people wanting to leave home after a year of staying local, but potential Delta variant restrictions, passport backlog issues, and President Biden's plan to require vaccination for foreign travelers into the U.S. could put a dent in demand. The online travel company Booking Holdings reporting second quarter results yesterday, including a massive jump in revenue. The company owns brands like Booking.com, OpenTable, and Priceline. Joining me now is Glenn Fogel, CEO of Booking Holdings. Glenn, it's always good to see you, and thank you for joining each time we get these results to break them down. Talk to me about what was working last quarter and the current state of the company as this Delta variant spreads.
Well, thank you for having me. And you're absolutely right. We did see some very good numbers, and we're very pleased with the uptick in travel. People have just a desire to travel, and when restrictions go down and people are feeling safer, they get up and they want to travel. So the numbers are good. And one of the things I point to is having a 59% increase sequentially in our room night count from the previous quarter. That's really impressive. Yes, the Delta variant is something that we are all concerned about. But the fact is, people still want to travel. And we saw a modest pullback in July, but I am still very hopeful for the long run. We're going to get out of this pandemic. People are going to go traveling the way they used to do. And I know that's going to happen. I'm just not sure when it's going to happen. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Well, I think investors, not too concerned, Glenn, about this Delta variant. I mean, we see your stock up 5.5% today, even as we do see COVID cases spiking in most states. What kind of guidance can you provide? How much clarity does the company have right now in terms of future demand?
Well, that is an interesting question. There's a lot of cloudiness in our crystal balls, everybody's, because nobody really knows how this Delta variant is going to impact over the next few weeks, next few months, even next couple of quarters. What we do know, though, is not worrying about next week, next month, next quarter, is thinking about the long run and seeing what we're doing in terms of increasing the value that we bring to the traveling customer, the value we bring to the other side of the marketplace, which is our supplier partners, and doing a better job. And that will enable us to get more customers, more business, and in the long run, we'll be doing better than we were pre-pandemic.
Okay, your stock did hit an all-time high earlier this year as the recovery got underway. Glenn, can you confidently say that even with COVID concerns out there, even with new restrictions, that your company will be able to weather the storm and make it to the long term?
Well, I'm absolutely confident of that. You look at our balance sheet, $16 billion in cash, a little more than $16 billion in cash. I am not concerned about weathering the storm. I'm concerned only about how fast we can develop better products, better services for both sides of the marketplace so that we can continue to lead this industry and create a better travel experience for everybody, which I do believe we will do.
Okay. What's the biggest worry right now? Is it the Delta variant? Is it the backlog of passports? We're hearing millions of people not able to get a passport in time, or even the latest news just in the past 24 hours that President Biden will now require vaccinations for foreign travelers. Which one might have the most outsized impact on your company?
Well, all of them are factors. And in fact, the last one you mentioned is something I just want to talk a little bit about. It's good that the president is announcing that foreigners from Europe are going to be able to come to the U.S. and others. Right now, it's totally they're not able to do it. So enabling them to come because they are safe travelers, because they've been vaccinated, that's great. I just wish they'd come out and say when they're going to be able to come. It's really interesting that Americans can go to Europe right now if you're vaccinated, travel freely, have a very good experience there. But for some reason, we're not letting Europeans who have the same vaccinations to come to see things here. It doesn't seem right. In terms of hurting the travel industry, it definitely is. And I think our supplier partners, the airlines, everybody's been talking about this. Why won't we let safe travelers come to the United States and enjoy all the things they can see here? It'd be good for our industry. And I really hope that the administration and the people, the experts, would get together and put together the plan so that foreigners can come to the U.S. if they are safe travelers.
Glenn, now what about a return to office and business travel again, right? That seems to be the wild card. We see the pent-up demand. Everyone wanted to take a vacation if they could this summer, especially if they had a family and were stuck at home for the past year. What about business travel come this fall? Any indications as to how that'll go?
Nobody really knows. So we have a couple things happening at once. We have when and what's the way people are going to return to the office. Are people going to come back 5 days a week, 4 days a week, 3 days a week? All different plans for that. Then the next thought is, well, if people are only coming part of the time, are they going to use those extra days when they're working from home to actually work from somewhere else and have mini vacations? So there'll be a lot more travel maybe for Thursday and Friday. So you're working Thursday and Friday, but you're doing it so Saturday and Sunday it's truly a holiday somewhere else. That may help stimulate some more travel. And then, of course, the issue is standard business travel, the type we used to do in the past. Well, I think there may be less of that, and certainly less as a share of total travel, because the fact is CFOs don't want to spend money if they don't have to. And you and I were having this great conversation through technology. We don't need to send somebody from New York to London for $10,000 for a single meeting. You can do it by video. So that may impact negatively some of the business travel, but we're mostly leisure. So that won't impact us much. And it may actually help because if there's more availability, because certain things aren't being filled up, that will help us provide the place that we can help our suppliers even more.
And I know in this latest quarter with the earnings out yesterday, it was a return in demand for both Europe and U.S. travel, which was a bright spot. In this current period now, and even ahead, Glenn, are there baked in bright spots, places that you know there will be demand, whether it's locations or groups or whatever it is that you expect will be bright spots for you going forward?
Well, I'll go the way right now we have a dark spot that I know at some point it'll get bright again, and that's Asia. Asia is not performing well. There are certainly a lot of issues out there in terms of this terrible pandemic, and it has definitely impacted travel in Asia significantly. We're global, so that impacts us. But the good thing to know is at some point that's going to turn around and we'll start getting positive travel there. It will take time. They need to get more vaccines distributed. More people need to pick up that and get that vaccine. But once that happens, I expect there to be similar returns to travel, just like we saw in Europe and just like we're seeing in the US. When it's safer to travel, people want to travel. And when people are allowed to travel, they start traveling. So I'm looking forward to a return in Asia at some point.
All right, Glenn, we'll wait to see if the president has any comments on this because he's about to speak live at the White House. But appreciate your time as always. It's good to see you. That is Glenn Fogel, is the CEO of Booking Holdings.